And hello, we're back. This is Mark Baran on 89.1 FM, WPHS. This is Alumni Week Takeover. We're in the studio for the first time in a very long time. I want to say about 26 years or so. So for those of you tuning in out there that remember me, you can give us a call maybe here a little bit later. I'll throw out a number here and call me and say hello. Oh, same phone number. 586-751 FM 89 or 3689. For those of you that remember the times we had back in the 90s out here in the station, I got a lot of things coming your way. I'm going to give you a little history of where I've been, what's going on here, and the thanks I want to give to the station here. It's done a lot for me in the future coming out of the school. Also want to thank our teachers that were involved at the time and all the new ones now. We got a lot to cover here. I'm going to be here between 7, just starting now, until about 9 p.m. So stick around. We got a lot going your way. FM 89, Exile Radio, WPHS. Welcome back. Kicking off another block, 7 to 9 p.m. This is Mark Baran, class of 1996. So I had to think about that there for a second. This is Alumni Week Takeover on Exile Radio, 89.1 FM. And coming back at you live from Studio B, this is Mark Baran, class of 96 on Alumni Takeover Week. We're here live probably for the first time in a while that I've been on the FM channels. I've been working on other things the past 26 years after I tearfully walked out of the studios here. A little bit about the studio here. Let's see here. I'm going to give a little history. We're not going to take too much of your time here, but I want to give a little bit. Remember, like the first time I walked in here in the early 90s, the studio I'm in now was not here. I was across the hall in one of the original studios, which was, I believe, founded in 1964 with Charles Lampinen. When I thank him, we met him quite a few times, but I was kind of after all of that happened. I was part of the inaugural beginnings of the new studio here, which is still standing here today, and it was a really great experience for me. This program here, we're located at Cousino High School in Warren. WPHS has done so much. I can't tell you. I can't thank enough people that were involved with the education and the free time to do what we loved, which was broadcasting and music. And I remember going back. I walked into that the first studio. Kind of going backtrack a little bit here. The first studio, when I walked in, I didn't know anybody in the school, didn't know a thing. I could hear music kind of pumping down the hallway. And I kind of it was like this serenading sound that it led me down the hallway to see what was going on behind, door number 3. And when I kind of veered over the side, I had noticed that the studio was up and running and broadcasting, live on-air signs. People seemed to be pretty in a happy mood. I was aware of the radio program, but I was still new and I hadn't quite got my feet yet in the program. We were trying to sign up and get scheduled. I know it was popular at the time, so it took a little bit of work to get into the program. But I'll tell you what, when I walked into that first time in the studio, not being signed up for the class, the students welcomed me in with open arms, not knowing a thing about what was going on in there, and they let me sit in some broadcasts that very moment, and I made some friends instantly. So. And that led me all the way to where we are today. I'm going to come back here. We're going to get a couple more songs going here. We're going to come back to, give you little tidbits of what happened there. And I want to throw some shout-outs and thanks along the way. My time here at the studio, I had several roles in several shows with a lot of my fellow students that we went to school together. We kind of worked behind the scenes a lot. A lot of time I wasn't on the air. I was also behind the scenes after hours and working diligently to make things happen for morning traffic reports, morning traffic time, other other shows during the week that I wasn't even really involved with. I lended my support how I could. So there's a lot to tell there. I'll try to condense it. But for now, let's go back into some music. And once again, you're on the Alumni Takeover Week, 89.1 FM, Exile Radio. And that was Tears for Fears off their new album. If you haven't heard it yet, I would check it out, definitely for sure. A few things to mention here as we move along. You can check out WPHS.com. We are kind of kicking off the pledge drive, the annual pledge drive for donations to the station and to the education for the radio and TV program here at WPHS and WCS-TV. Once again, WPHS.com. If you donate $35 or more, they're going to toss in some swag, some T-shirts, I'm told, and probably a couple extras, stickers for your bumper or whatever else. We really encourage you to do that. It tremendously helps out the program here, and it always has. I think it's going, don't quote me on this, I think going into next week, they're going to start the annual pledge drive, which runs, it used to run 24/7. I'm assuming it does the same as we used to do, which is really fun. A lot of students in here broadcasting around the clock to get as many donations as we can, and I know they're also working hard, probably going out into public places as well, looking for sponsorships and things like that. So there's a lot involved, but we could really use your help here, as always, at WPHS. One last little thing, well, not last, but a little bit more about myself. That's why I'm so thankful for the WPHS program. It's really led me into my career and life. I don't exactly work in on-air talent broadcasting and whatnot, but I am kind of in an industry where it's all involved. I'm a producer, and also I'm a production manager. I work on live events, concerts, corporate events, political events. I've been fortunate to travel the country. Pretty much been to 49 of 50 states. I think I want to count the last one there, but I think I was driving through one night and it doesn't really count, but almost 50 there. But it's really been an exciting adventure ever since I left the station here, and it's kind of been because of the inspiration that I picked up here at WPHS that took me down that road. I also work as an audio engineer, a video engineer. We do live broadcasts for some of our clients, live streaming and TV productions, live satellite broadcasts, you name it. It's all pretty much involved, and this is one place to start. So anybody out there listening, that the younger generation that thinks that they want to get involved, I would definitely look it up and get involved in the program. Give it a chance. If it's something that you think that you might be interested in, this is the place to start, because I'm very thankful for what it's done for me. A couple of shout outs here before we get back to the music. I want to thank Mrs. S, or Jenny Stanczyk. She was a great teacher and mentor for helping us here at the station when I first became in. Charles Lampinen here was kind of coming out when I started, but I had the pleasure of meeting him several times throughout the years. Matt Filer, I think, was here as a parapro in the evening, and Mary Ann. We certainly haven't forgot you. Some other mentions, other students I worked with, Chris Sherwood, Sam Oginski, and I had a morning drive time show. It was a little rough for me sometimes because I was working late nights, but we would start early in the morning. I believe it was 6 a.m. until like 8. So a lot of people could catch us on the air for their drive in to either school or work. The late Alex Miga, one of the, I don't know if he was a founding father, but he was on the Metal Shop of Horrors, which was infamous for many years around here. Primarily was on Friday nights with a lot of metal music and hard rock. Very well known, going back, I think, even further than him. So I want to shout out to him. Vita Malesh, he was here. He had a couple shows. I think Space Rock was one of them. I think it came on after me. Miss you, brother. Haven't seen you in a long time either. In fact, if we ever do this again, this Alumni Week, we're going to try to shout out and get the band back together in the studio here and do some cool stuff. Too many others to mention in this short time. Don't worry, I have nothing but love for y'all. I haven't forgot you. Screaming Scott, he actually he was part of this program from WRIF. He was an inspiration to a lot of us as well, and he always took the time to come in and talk to the classes. So shout out to Screaming Scott Randall. I'm sure he still comes around, and you also can still check him out on the air to this very day. So there's another example of what the program has done for others. Well, I'm not going to hold you up too much there more. We're going to come on in some more music. Come back to you in a little bit here. You're checking out Alumni Takeover Week, 89.1 WPHS. Coming back at you. Mark Baran here on Alumni Takeover Week. We're back in the Studio B, WPHS 89.1 FM. And don't forget, we are kind of kicking off the pledge drive before it really kicks off with the Alumni Week here. You can check us out at WPHS.com to, there's a lot of information in there of how you can pledge to the cause here. We would graciously accept your donations to kind of help with a lot of things here in the studio, as well as the education. A lot of my roles here back in the day, I had a lot of hats to fill. I was a broadcast engineer. I was kind of in charge of keeping some equipment. Student broadcast engineer. Keeping some of the equipment in tip-top shape, and as well as I was pretty much one that kept the remote broadcasting alive. So a lot of my fellow student classmates would call me up and say, hey, listen, we want to do a remote broadcast over in the area or a few miles away. I think I was the furthest I was able to transmit back then before we had real internet streaming capabilities. With your old school transmitter, I could get about 7-mile radius from the station. So we would, they'd come to me and ask me, hey, Mark, what do you got going on Thursday night? We have either a sporting event or you'd like to promote some type of a band or a place of business, or a sponsor is having some kind of a event. I would 99% of the time I would gladly take that on, and we would fill my car full of equipment and roll on down and broadcast live. That was just one of the things. I was in charge of promotions there for about a year, always promoting the station just like we are now. And happy to be back in the seat here, helping promote the station. Programming, I wasn't quite 100% on with the programming, but I would assist with other classmates, keeping our program and itinerary alive for daily usage outside of other shows. I had a bunch of shows. I can't remember them all right at this moment, but Hurricane was one of them. It was more of a eclectic mix of upbeat, not exactly dance music, but we had a little bit of mix of kind of upbeat, inspirational music. The morning drive show, like I said before, and a few other time slots with some hard rock, classic rock, and requests that we geared towards the audience. We'd always take calls and have requests. Did a lot of work, like I said, behind the scenes, trying to promote things. So we had a lot of ticket giveaways and swag. So in order to be able to have those things, we would go out and find people willing to donate so that we could give away concert tickets and whatnot. So it was a lot of chasing around and a lot of legwork. Of course, it wasn't all one person. It was a team effort. So we thank everyone involved with that, even to this day. So one other person that I definitely did not forget, but I would like to thank my Aunt Dolores and my family. They stood behind me here while I was many late nights at the studio. Sometimes they might have thought I was out getting up, up to no good, but I was actually on the air or setting up for the next day. Thank you, Aunt D. Love you. Couldn't have done it without you and the support from my father and sister and family. We love you all. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming your way here. I'm here till 9 o'clock, so got a lot to cover. I'm going to try to squeeze it in and also keep you entertained. So stick around. Thanks for listening. Coming back at ya, this is Mark Baran, WPHS 89.1 FM. You are listening to Alumni Takeover Week, and it's great to be back in the studio. Man, it's just like I left it, I think I got something over here. Some of my old homework stashed behind the transmitter. Not sure. No, it's great to be. A lot of things kind of look the same. A lot of things have changed. Some new equipment in here, but I'm also familiar with some of this stuff. Some of the things I'm doing nowadays. I guess I can't be too specific about it, but one of the things I do is called VOGs. I've done some very large announcements where the terminology is voice of God, usually announcing a prominent figure or a VIP or a celebrity onto a TV program or live stream or on stage in front of a live audience. I've worked on audiences, live events with audiences up to 100,000 or more. TV productions, you can imagine about the same. Sometimes you've heard my voice or voiceovers on type of programming like that. Not so much on FM radio, but that's all kind of related to what we're doing here today. So, as you can see, it's taken me places. I'm very thankful for what this program has shown me. The sky's the limit, and the doors are always open for other avenues. It's not just radio. It's where it can take you with that. So, for those of the students that are still involved with the program, stick with it because it's not just a very narrow street. It's a wide spectrum of things, including TV and video broadcasting. So, as you can see, the world is now looking at social media and many different devices, which we know we had those things back then, but not like it is now. So there's a lot of different ways we can communicate to the general public or the world through all these devices. So that's probably a pretty cool profession to be in at this time. We're gonna take a couple more songs here and keep going until about 9. Coming right back. Let's see here what we got next. Another band that I've been really appreciating lately, the last 10 years or so, is Rival Sons. Here's a song called Imperial Joy coming up on WPHS. Exile Radio. And we're back on 89.1 FM. This is Mark. You know, this is not all about me. I mean, this is about the station, but I got stories I got to tell, and some of you out there listening may or may not remember. But you know, like during the when I was in the program here at the WPHS, a lot of even my colleagues might not even know. After school, I used to go record bands on multi-track recorders, trying to get them some airtime. Also, when I was involved with promotions, we really tried to promote local talents in the Detroit, Warren area. Even as far as, I mean, all of Michigan, and it went national as well. So a lot of programming material would come in through the doors, and we would try to get people airtime before they could hit like national airwaves, big syndicated type programs. So after school, I would sometimes go and record bands. I remember Sam Oginski, who was another on-air talent here, had a band, let's see here, I think it was called Surfy at Mana. I went to a couple coffee shops and recorded, like on some 4 tracks, and a couple times I think went on an 8 track. Really broadcast. I mean, really kind of. It wasn't mastered material, but it was just enough so we could broadcast it legibly, and you can get a sense of it. So that it helped the band take off a little bit, and it also, for our listeners out there, we're able to get some different material and see what's happening locally. I wasn't the only one that did it, but we always tried to promote local talent. So even to this very day. For those of you listening out there, go listen to your local bands and local musicians, local artists, anything involved, video. Go out there and support them all that you can, because it really means something to somebody out there, and it really makes a difference in your community just by supporting those. So as I tell my friends and colleagues out there, keep the arts alive. It is essential and important to our everyday life. Some people don't think of it that way, or they just kind of forget about it, but it's really important. I think I'm on YouTube out there too, so if you can see me out there, hello. Back in the studio here in Warren, Michigan. Last 4 or 5 years or so, I've been out in Washington, D.C. doing some things, and now I'm happy to say I'm back in the area, seeing some family and some old friends and other colleagues out here. Shout out to Bob out there. I used to be an electrician as well. So, Bob, if you're listening, Bob and I worked years ago together. In fact, I don't think Bob knew that I was on the air at one point. So, we'll keep this thing rolling. That was just a little memory I had down memory lane there. One other little thing Aunt Dee would remember, Aunt Dolores and my family, is I would do little backyard concert series, like talent shows. And that actually spilled into the high school as well. I helped direct and put together and help produce talent shows. So that was also keeping the arts alive. Keeping the arts alive. A little stutter there. We keep the arts alive in different ways. I want to say between 8 years old and all the way up to like 15, I was doing backyard talent shows, and the neighbors and family would come by and see them. And I wasn't really the act. I was more of the behind the scenes guy putting it together. They'd all rolled right up into high school and college, and all the way up till today, doing the big stuff for hundreds of thousands of people. So follow your dreams out there, folks. It matters, and keep the arts alive. More stuff coming your way here on WPHS 89.1 FM. Ooh, that's a little too... That one jumped right in there. That one slipped by there. Hey, it's Mark Baran here on Alumni Takeover Week on 89.1 FM, WPHS. I'm still here for about another half an hour or so. Might go over just 5 minutes if we're having too much fun here. But thanks for all of you out there that are joining me today. Hope the music's not too weird. It's a little bit of an eclectic mix. I wasn't quite sure what we were going to do. I had thought about some new wave 80s mixed with some 90s. I think this one's kind of stayed consistent somewhat. There was a Tears for Fears song that was on earlier. New album came out. Seems to be getting a lot of buzz on the town there. So if you have a chance, check out the new Tears for Fears album. I think I might have mentioned that. I was thinking there for a little bit, did a lot of remote broadcasts for WPHS back in the day, and it's kind of what I do now for a profession on a different scale. We used to go to some coffee cafes down the road here, and a lot of different type of things, promoting things and whatnot. Also sports, do the sports teams for some, not just Cousino High School, but for Sterling Heights High School and some others, I think Mott at the time. It wasn't just one. We get some phone calls. Hey, would you mind sending a crew over to kind of broadcast this game? So I would set those up. And we had, of course, I wasn't the on-air talent, but we had some really talented sports broadcasters that had their stuff together and did a really great job. So I would go over there and kind of engineer that, set it up for them. I think we did a couple shows before. Not just a talent show, but I think we did some local high school bands and broadcasted them out of the studio here. I seem to remember doing one at a cafe before. So, I have some old tapes. I got to dig through the archives there. Some old skimmer tapes is what we call them. It was kind of whenever we had the mic on in the studio here, we would record to a tape. I have to look back. I do still have those. And yes, they are cassette tapes. For those of you that don't know what that is, you might have to look that up on Google. But I might have to convert those to digital now so I can just send them out in an email or something to somebody. We got some more stuff coming your way. I'm going to kind of cram some things in here. And we might have a special guest if things go well on the air. Might take a caller. And then hope to be back here again if all things work out well, and I can't thank everyone enough for having me. This is great. Been a great experience overall to be back in the studio again. So, all right, let's rock and roll here, folks. Got some more coming at you, and then some more of me somewhere in between. And that was Ron Gallo, Young Lady, You're Scaring Me on WPHS 89.1 FM. I am Mark Baran, and this is Alumni Takeover Week. It's great to be back in the studio again. It's been 26 years or so since I've been in Studio B here. You know what? I take that back. I was here for one of the anniversaries Came by to pop in and say hello, but I wasn't on the air. So we got some cool stuff coming your way before I depart here. That Ron Gallo one we just played was a little newer track. I think you can kind of see the theme I was going for here. It's kind of like a, I don't know, there's a name for the genre, but there's like a bluesy guitar, crunchy sound to this track, this playlist that I'm doing here. I figured it kind of suited what's happening in current music. There's a lot of this stuff coming out. We got some Liam Gallagher coming your way, some David Ramirez, and some other things. Coming up next, Missio on 89.1 FM, WPHS. It's 8:47 p.m. on Thursday, the 24th. 45 degrees out there right now. You know, it's been a little cooler out lately. You know, we got lucky there for a couple days. It was in the high 70s. We thought it was almost an actual spring. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of continuing on that way for the next week or so. In the Warren, Detroit area, high of 30s, high 30s between Sunday and Monday. It'll be a lot sunnier Sunday, Monday. Right now, it's kind of cloudy, overcast out there. Not terrible, 45 degrees currently. But we got some good songs to keep you warm out there. Stay tuned, more to come until I'm out of here on Alumni Takeover Week. Hello, live, you're on the air.
Mark, it worked. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. We can hear you. How are you?
It's a WPHS miracle. I'm up past my bedtime.
Oh, boy. Me too. I need to make preparations for the next day.
I'm great. I fell asleep on the couch, and I got Jeremy's text message, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I have to tune into Mark. And your music is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And just hearing your voice again.
Well, hearing your voice again, this is a pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure if you were going to call in or not, but this is great.
Well, the second, somebody reminded this old lady to do it, I did.
Well, we have to certainly do this again. It was quite an experience coming in today for the Alumni Takeover Week. And, in the past, I wasn't able to make it because I was traveling on the road. But I'm actually...
I know, you're such
I'm here.
Busy, successful guy.
Well, just like everyone else. Just do my thing.
Well, I love you, and I just wanted to call and say thank you so much for coming back into the radio station.
No, thank you, and thank you for everything that you've done. Like I was telling I don't know if you heard earlier in the program, I was telling a lot of the listeners out there that it's because of the program here at WPHS that I was able to find my path in life and do things that I enjoy, which is all related coming from ground zero here at the station. So
that makes me so happy.
Your mentorship and all the education and everything that came from here, it's near and dear to me and to my heart. So I can't thank you enough.
It's Cousino's best kept secret.
Yes. Well, we hope to see.
You have a great. Yeah.
I'll just say we hope to see more generations come through here and make something.
Heck yeah.
Of it.
Absolutely.
I was telling some of the stories, like, when I was in the program here and on the air, all of the how we came together as a team, and they were asking me to come out and do remote broadcasts and promotions and other things. So it wasn't just on the air talent; it was behind the scenes as well.
Oh yeah, we did some crazy stuff too.
Good times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that was the best part about it,
We'll never forget
just getting to watch you guys grow up.
Well, we did it. It was because of you that we were we enjoyed ourselves here and really learned something.
Well, aw, shucks.
Oh, thank you for calling in.
Are they taking pledges yet? Are they doing the marathon yet? When are they taking money from people?
Well, they're taking it now, and I was letting them know, like, we're kind of like the prequel to the pledge. I guess next week it kicks off in full force.
All right.
And I'm not quite. I have to ask over here. I'm not quite
Hold on,
sure.
next week, aren't they on vacation next week?
I don't know. Maybe not for the pledge drive. Maybe they're coming in off duty. I was told this. We're kind of kicking it off, and next week it's going to go. I don't even know if they do it full 24 hours like we had done in the past.
Not like we did. We were awesome.
We remember we would
Tell him to put me down for $200, and I'm sure Jeremy will find me.
Okay. Well, for those of you listening still, and you missed the earlier part, WPHS.com. We would love to hear from you, and if you have any pledges, we would love to, whether it's large or small, any little bit counts to help this thing going for the students and future generations to come. Oh, hang on, we have another person in the studio here before you hang up here.
Oh, okay.
Is that Mike too?
It's just me. I was just clarifying. We're not on break yet next week.
Okay.
You guys aren't? Ew.
No, I have no breaks. No rest for the wicked.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'll be in sunny St. Louis.
You're on permanent break. How's retirement going?
I am. It's lovely.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
It's lovely, except for I still have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to take my granddaughter to school.
Oh, so that's how they get you. That's how they get you in the end.
Did that.
Yeah, you retire and now you have to watch the kids.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I'm still waiting for my mother-in-law to retire so she can watch my kids.
Good luck with that.
But yes, we do
still
go 24/7, and we stay up all night, and that's going to be on Thursday.
Too cool. Well,
Okay,
I'm glad
next
to hear
week,
it.
Thursday. All right, cool deal.
I'll have to tune in. Are you?
All right.
What about you? Are you doing any? Are you doing any podcasts or anything with the kids over there? What's going on?
Oh. No, not yet.
Your own kind of
my granddaughter
broadcasting?
does do a song of the day, but it's more of a dance, kind of thing every morning on Facebook. But
Oh, there we go.
when she's a little more verbal, we'll sit down and talk about the important issues to 5-year-olds.
You're going to be the producer for all the future streams to coming out of the
I'm
home?
sure, absolutely.
All right. Well, they're in good hands.
All the remote broadcasts from the backseat of my car.
Let me know if you need a hand. I can get you bonded on a cellular network or something, and like the old days.
Appreciate that.
I'll bring the Marty unit out. We'll transmit from the.
Sure, Mike.
And our listeners are
On
probably,
that
what
note,
the heck is
I'm
that?
going to go to bed and have some really awkward dreams.
You just have to make sure that you're within sight of the antenna.
Right.
Yeah, I
Don't touch
remember
it.
doing that, climbing on top of the roof of a bowling alley.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of them.
Yeah, it was.
Some of the schools that I used to try to go promote something that I guess wasn't done before. I used to go try to the middle schools and things and try to promote the program, and we would broadcast live from the gymnasium. And
in one year,
after-
they kicked us out of was the middle school or the high school because they thought our kids were a bad influence. Like our kids went to school here.
Oh, maybe I didn't.
It's
I
your
don't know.
fault they're the bad influence. You made them like this.
I'm not sure I had that phone call. Maybe that went straight to you, straight to the top there.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Mark, just pack
the
it
other
up. We'll tell
favorite
you later.
remote broadcast I'll remember, though, was somehow we broadcast from Hart Plaza when the Pistons won back-to-back championships.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forget who
that
was there on that
amazing.
one.
I still don't know exactly how we pulled that off or where we plugged in.
Well, didn't you guys also broadcast from the auto show?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't let
Those
us
were
do that
grueling
anymore.
weeks.
Many times.
Yeah,
That one
yeah.
we had a direct phone line that was connected, so it wasn't we didn't
Oh,
have
yeah,
to worry about the
thousands of dollars. We had to go out and get extra money for that. And
It's probably a good thing that they don't let us do it, because I always had this devious plan where we would go around and put our bumper stickers on all the cars,
Oh, that's I don't know how long we would last.
Yeah.
but-
change all the stations like presets to 89.1.
I thought about that before. I like that.
I think that
idea.
might have been
That
done
was a good
somewhere
one.
down the line there.
Yeah, yeah. And the press weeks were always fun too.
Oh, absolutely. Preview week. We all had tuxedos.
Oh my God.
Well, it's because of
yeah.
the listeners. We had some pledges. I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of helped us get to where we were and broadcast live from the North American International Auto Show
At Cobo Hall.
at Cobo Hall. And where's it? I think it's going to be now. They've changed it. I'm just coming
It's
back to
outdoor
Michigan
now.
Yeah, outdoors, either Pontiac or somewhere. I know they're tossing around.
That'll
smoke.
add for more, interesting broadcast complications.
Well, we'll have to come over here and see if the kids are gonna get something going here and broadcast from the auto show.
We're not.
Rile them up a little bit. Yeah, why not?
We're not doing it.
We just need an internet connection, right?
Do it.
Yeah, nowadays it's just an internet connection. But also nowadays it's a
so
lot
darn
more
simple.
paperwork.
Right, I'm sure. Make sure nothing.
Only if you want to keep your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Thank you so much for calling in. That was a really a big surprise.
I'm glad I could do it.
And we hope to see you again in the future, and maybe make our way out here again and get the band back together.
You never know.
Never know.
All right. I will talk to you guys later. Good night.
Have a good night.
Talk to you later. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna close out here. I thank everyone for having me for the Alumni Takeover Week. It's great to be behind the board again. I'm gonna close out with one song after I sign off here. But once again, this is Mark Baran signing off from WPHS 89.1 FM, Exile Radio.